Hello and welcome. I am the Funeral Doom Queen. It is a very warm, sunny day today, so if you hear fans in the background, I'm sorry. I already had this written out, but my fucking thing didn't save and I was very livid. So I had to write this whole review again, go back and listen to the album a little bit to refresh my memory. This is a review of Aphonic Threnity's debut album, When Death Comes. I'm probably going to be uploading reviews of their whole discography in order starting from debut. This album features funeral doom musicians such as Greg Chandler of Esoteric, Josh Moran of Vacant Eyes, and David Unsaved of Ennui. The Ghost song starts off with what I assume is a movie sample setting you up for the vibe that you're going to get in the song. We're immediately exploded into the somber riff with this great melody from the leads. Around 5 minutes in, we're introduced to this quiet section with a sparkly ride cymbal, then ever so subtly a dense chugging riff starts to come through the background, and then you're falling into this haunting choral nightmare with amazing growls and some highs. The vocalist is amazing. Death Obsession begins with this theatrical and dramatic buildup of piano, strings, some electric guitar in the background. Then we're introduced to our first riff, which gets pretty dissonant. I love the addition of the synthy strings. I think it works well with the atmosphere. Around 11 minutes in, we get some double bass kick, which is always satisfying when it happens in a funeral doom song. Then there's this sick melodic riff that happens over it, then we're back to our main riff. Quiet section starts with some strings and some windy sounds, like the wind, which, considering the hot weather I've been having, it low-key made me feel like I was getting a breeze, which is much needed. I love the melancholy of this quiet part. I love the vocalist's whispery, harsh vocals, if you will, in this section. Then we get our riff again, but over it is this violin, which gives a sense of longing, and because it's funeral doom, I guess some mourning in there too. This track is a standout because it feels very movie-esque. I feel like I was on a great emotional journey. The song Dementia has an interesting part where you have this riff, but with it is this flute or recorder. It gives it a unique feel. It's about all I picked out from that song. The Children's Sleep is another standout track. Begins with a beautiful and somewhat ethereal acoustic and electric leads. The acoustic motif in this song is so addicting. The second quiet section has this chimey keyboard that's pleasant. Then we get our doom metal for a few minutes, but then the most beautiful transition into a quiet section I've ever heard in a funeral doom song happens, which I hereby announce this as the first Funeral Doom Queen approved moment. I unfortunately don't have much to say about the last song. It doesn't mean it was bad though. Overall, I think this album was excellent. I am definitely looking forward to continuing the discography. I would say that this album is for fans of Mournful Congregation, Ia, and maybe some Evoken, but take that with a grain of salt. I haven't listened to Evoken in a while. Like I said in the last video, ratings don't really mean much, but I would give this an 8 out of 10. This would be a 9 out of 10, but the mixing being a little bit odd brings it down for me a little bit. Still, it's not an unlistenable album. I do recommend you listen to it. With that being said, if you appreciate all things funeral doom metal, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment for a recommendation perhaps, and I'll definitely get to it. Keep making funeral doom metal, and thank you for watching.